These aren't your typical building fasteners. At John's Farm, we honor the Bulldozer experts who operate like craftsmen and battle like champions. One mistake could be costly, but they make it appear effortless. Let's go. You people observe that front Cyclone L1850. Featuring its 33 cubic meter container, this machine establishes elevated benchmarks for efficiency to expertly control something that massive and effectively fill enormous transport vehicles. An operator definitely requires decades of knowledge and quick responses. Several of the finest operators never used a digital display. They operated these units by sensation, noise, and intuition. The person emptying that D9 grams probably mastered from decades of grime and fuel. That type of expertise doesn't originate from handbooks. It's transferred one control at a time. This footage of the Menzimuch M545 excavating that water storage in Switzerland really demonstrates its special capabilities. Observing it function on such an incredibly steep incline, utilizing its cable and arm to drag itself shows why it's named a crawler digger. It definitely manages landscape that conventional equipment simply cannot. What a remarkable view. That's what occurs when a 100,000-pound equipment isn't correctly secured down upward. Inclines require more than just strength. Stability counts too. Well, now observing that John Deere 70-530 extracted from what appeared like endless muck in slightly more than 5 minutes is really remarkable. It simply demonstrates what a reliable tractor like Matthias is, CASEIH, with that useful trailer cart can accomplish.
That's just terrible to see.
Baru dibilang.
Kamu udah jadi nih.
That's simply awful to witness. It's a tribute to the resilience and expertise of these Russian laborers to retrieve that frozen tractor in only 10 days. Operating outside in winter with frost and ice demands a unique type of endurance, and know how they definitely honor their nation's workers with dignity. Among the initial X8000s to arrive in Australia. Now that's a segment of excavation heritage. At more than 1.8 million pounds, this giant helped establish the benchmark for massive nickel projects. Simply picturing this monster cutting into the ground is sufficient to awaken recollections of how much mining technology has advanced. One can simply picture the absolute challenge of that restoration. Now it makes logic why they name it a crawler. Constructed in 1983 and still operating, this 6,200-ton container chain digger is a surviving remnant of Cold War technology. 6 workers, 33,000 pounds of lubricant, and the equipment longer than a soccer field. Watching this titan crawl from the pit and time progression is like observing a mechanical giant walk to retirement. Oh no, I'm you. Eight loads from a cat, 988, and you've received 240,000 pounds in the compartment. That's some significant mass transportation in no time. That's an entire hill going into that vehicle makes you question how the wheels even survive with that type of load. Picture being a motorist on that path to Vientoy when the landscape is so demanding that even specialized vehicles like Urel or Kamaz battle. That's when you really value a solid bulldozer. It could create new routes and supply the raw power required to extract those stuck vehicles rapidly.
Tim evakuasi.
Heartbreaking to watch.
Semua kru selamat.
Devastating to observe. Believe it's impossible to offload a big rig's 8.5-ton digger with no slope. What if the driver simply used the equipment itself?
Let us know in the...
Look at this smart technique. Bet it'll amaze you. Let us understand in the responses. Enter 1 if you found our footage was captivating, and 0 if you found it was dull. This really appears like something from a frightening film. Viewing this gave me shivers. That border appeared quite unstable, but the driver maintained his composure a foot too distant, and that 6-ton machine down the slope, you could sense every action was planned to the inch. Observing this thing emerge is like traveling back into the 80s. The T-170 was a reliable machine in difficult landscape, and with a complete restoration, it still performs today. Have any recollections of witnessing one of these machines on a construction location?
Вообще не шумит.
It recalls me of when my relative's tractor overturned hauling grain. Forestry operations, no kidding. These young people need to decelerate and prepare better. Operating a low trailer in the Fraser Valley isn't for the easily scared, narrow paths, sharp corners. It's no walk in the park for will the young operator we're observing here to manage all that with just an L permit. That person's got something unique. I never expected I'd witness that monument disappear. Life definitely progresses quickly. One moment, it's present. The following, just particles.
Уйди нахуй!
Now that's how grandfather used to transport the cultivator. No elaborate trailers or GPS, just a good cord and a powerful spine. Bet it isn't road approved, but definitely gives the postal worker something to discuss. Traditional countryside technology at its best. That Manson and 300 definitely is a machine, a hydraulic equipment that dimension moving timber and freight like their plumes is something different. We're discussing about more than 600,000 pounds of metal performing dance at the wharf. Innovation has advanced significantly since the old lifts.
A site with
location
no
with
proper
no adequate
support?
reinforcement
That's asking for
inviting
disaster.
2 levels
2 floors
below
down with no brace means
support
those slabs could
means
give way
those
any
platforms
second.
could collapse
It
any
doesn't
moment.
take an engineer to see
It
that's a
doesn't
recipe for
require
a
an
collapse.
architect to recognize
If this
that's a
happened near a
formula for
sidewalk,
failure.
someone could get
If this
seriously
occurred
hurt.
near a walkway,
Just not worth the
someone
risk.
could receive seriously injured. Simply not worth the danger. It recalls me of the rigs transporting lumber through the Rockies in the 70s. It's quite remarkable to witness a complete bulldozer dismantled like that. The strength in that VTNCI 7000 is something different curious. How much time does it typically require to demolish a single equipment like that, from beginning to end? That joint between the two sections is performing all the major work here. Without it, that back portion would overturn like a hotcake. Remarkable how the Volvo BV202, this old Swedish, keeps its composure ascending a nearly upright surface. Appears like a T-170 or something similar classic Soviet bulldozer, thick metal, gradual but unstoppable. Would enjoy to hear that diesel motor hum again. That's the type of ability you don't witness every day at John's farm. We respect the workers who make equipment perform. Press that subscribe option. There's much more where that originated from.